You know what? Honestly, it felt amazing, and it was crazy because I envisioned it. You know, when I was sitting on the bench and watching my teammates, I was just waiting for my opportunity. You know, and I feel like my teammates believe in me, and I also got full belief in them. And so I knew when my time was called, I just go out there and play my game. And you know, we didn't come on the right side of the winning column. So I'm not really happy about it, but it was good to finally get an opportunity for sure.
How difficult is that just to sit there and kind of be in that moment, though?
Um, it's crazy. I've already kind of been through that before. If people don't really know my story, but my freshman year, kind of had a similar situation. Didn't necessarily get my chance to senior night against Memphis, and I came off the bench as a freshman, and I had like 19 points or something. So it was whatever my number is called, I'm just always ready. Like it doesn't matter what my situation is. I always look at other people, like NBA players, and there's a lot of pros that sit there and they show up every day and be professional. So that's what I did each and every day, and it paid off.
Mike, what's the week been like just knowing, that Raleigh's hurt and that your role is going to expand and, going through practice? What's the week been like for you?
Honestly, I just kind of prepared how I've been preparing. I've been looking at practice as my game. Honestly, when we be playing live and whether it's like regular drills we're doing, I always was like in game mode. Like just kept staying mentally locked in, ready for whenever my chance was called. So definitely when we found out Raleigh was going to be out, it definitely that's a big loss. But we knew guys needed to step up, and I knew especially I needed to step up. So yeah.
Brandon, can you explain just the emotions and the environment tonight? It seemed like it was different than really all season.
Yeah. Well, no, first of all, yeah, with that, just want to thank all the fans that did come out. The energy that they brought and how loud that gym got was, amazing. And it's, those are some of the favorite memories here at Utah is when you have a packed gym and everyone gets loud and on their feet. And also shout out to Mike. I'm very proud of him and the way he played and the adversity that he's gone through and coming out ready to go tonight after not playing however many games. So, that's that. But, this was a big game for us. We got smacked by UCLA at UCLA, and I wasn't able to play that game. I haven't played UCLA since a sophomore. Last year was appendicitis, and then this year the weird stomach whatever thing before that game. So, it was exciting for me to get out there, and obviously I haven't shot the ball as well as I want, but that's going to change soon. And there's the energy out there in these big moments is just amazing.
Brandon, you came out aggressive really early. Did you make it a point coming in tonight to try to set the tone early?
Not necessarily. That was my mindset. I was excited to play though. It's been a while since I've played these guys, and so I just wanted to kind of come out and just get going however I could on the defensive or offensive side and help this team, and just wasn't enough on for my part tonight.
And how difficult is it this stretch of the season where things were hitting its stride, you have two big injuries, and still trying to kind of piece things together when the lineups consistently change and you're trying to play these top teams in the league?
It's tough, but it's like we wish we could have Raleigh, we wish we could have Gabe, and everything, but we got that next man up mentality, and it definitely showed tonight. Boston had a great game. Mike had an amazing game. And so it's just going to continue what it's got to be while we're missing these guys. And although those two are huge pieces of our team that can definitely help us, I think we just have a deep bench that we can go to a lot of guys for help.
Well, congrats to UCLA. They're a really good team. They're a very complete team. Obviously, their ranking speaks for themselves, and I think they have a 2-game lead in the league. So. We gave ourselves a chance, obviously playing a lot of different lineups tonight. Really proud of our guys, just incredibly proud of our guys and how hard we competed. We did make a lot of mistakes, specifically on the defensive end, but we did a lot of really good things tonight. We out-rebounded them, 37-34 with 11 offensive rebounds. Marco was 6. Overall, we took care of the ball. We had 4 turnovers at halftime, 12 for the game. Against a team like this, that's a good number because they turn teams over. And we struggled with the press very early. We just were a little tentative, and I think we maybe had 1 turnover. But then I thought we really attacked it at a high level. Obviously, we put a lot of time in it this week because we knew they were going to do that, and turnovers are an issue, of course, against Arizona State. So did a lot of good things. The first half, we gave up 43 points, 19 of them in transition. A combination of them getting the rebound and breaking, and then off our turnovers. And you just it's just a lot of points to give up to a team like that, where you just feel like you're giving freebies. And there was a lot of freebies, there. So, but credit to our guys, man. Like they got it up to 16, I think, in the second half. Is that right? And our guys just showed a ton of resiliency and just kept on competing and fighting and stayed together. And I want to thank our fans. I mean, I thought it was electric in there tonight. I thought they were really willing our guys and just trying to will us to the finish line. And you could feel it. You could feel the energy and the excitement. And we cut that thing to 3. And, they throw it to Jaquez and we double them. And we had a breakdown on the weak side and gave up an easy layup. And we just couldn't quite make back. So some great performances off our bench. I mean, Mike Saunders was really, he did some really good things tonight. I thought the second half in particular, getting downhill, and we played a lot of two-man game with him and BC, and he was in attack mode. And, obviously credit to him for a good week. And, you throw him out there, and Boston, who's had an issue just with durability, he might have had his best week of practice since he's been here. I mean, close to it, if not. And I thought he played like it. So I thought those two guys really sparked us, obviously, with Mike having 25. And Boston just kind of is a jack of all trades when he's right. You know what I mean? And he's healthy, and you can see his passing and his feel. He can guard a lot of different guys. He just is a versatile guy. And then Keba didn't score a whole lot, but I thought that last run when we made a big run, man, he was a presence in the paint down there. And obviously you saw that block shot that he had, but he just did some really good things. So, heck of an effort. We're not into moral victories, but, man, I'm just really proud of how we played tonight.
Greg, obviously, with Saunders' effort, I mean, did you notice a change maybe because he saw opportunities this week, or was there something different that maybe gave him the opportunity to be able to play like that?
Yeah, I'm sure there was, right? I mean, obviously without Raleigh being able to go and Gabe being able to go, and we went into the week not necessarily knowing what to expect in multiple ways, right? How severe is Raleigh's injury, and what's Gabe, and it's just the always thing. And you guys are always at, where's Gabe at? Where's which you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So I understand that, but it's just right. So there's just a lot of uncertainty heading into this week, and we were off Sunday and Monday. We did some things, but it was very light, and just really tried to get all of our guys that haven't played a lot, or the guys that didn't play much against Arizona State, like Keba, I think played 11 minutes with the foul trouble, so he went through a full workout, and we did, and just going through 5-0, making sure everybody, right, we really simplified a lot of stuff and just kind of tried to make sure we know exactly what we're going to run and what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and right, and then you can see obviously we did some different things defensively. I've made free throws and dead balls with just a softer press, just to try to get them slowed down. There's such a precision team to get them out of it. But going back to your question, so it was really just kind of, we approached it, we met obviously a lot as a staff and met with some guys and just said, hey, listen, like, be ready to roll, trying to get everybody back into a flow, so to speak. And that's Mike, Boston, Jackson, Luca. I mean, those 4 guys, their minutes have been all over the map, right? And so, but we had a good week, and those guys played outstanding tonight.
What was Mike's
specifically on the offensive end?
I apologize.
No, you're good.
What was Mike's reaction when you kind of said that to him and you explained the situation? Obviously, he hasn't played a ton.
Yeah.
Lately.
Oh, he was great. I mean, when you get to this time of year, there's just a lot. There just can be a lot going on, especially for guys that haven't played a lot, and just being real with you, right? Like, so you just don't. Where's your mind at, right? And just all that, and when we talked, I mean, we didn't have like this big glorified meeting, but obviously we had a conversation, and he was excited. I mean, he was really excited, and that's a credit to Mike, to say, yeah, I'm excited, let's go, type of thing. And he played with a lot of spirit out there tonight. Like, he wasn't perfect. Obviously, nobody is, but he played with a lot of energy.
You moved Marco over to Hawkes. It seemed like things kind of changed once you did that. Was that kind of a concerted effort to kind of change it, or was that just kind of everything kind of combining together?
Well, he guarded him the last game, and he actually started on him. But they do they run a play almost every possession down, and they do we call it, whatever you want to call it. They do a lot of ghost screens, or we call it Pepperdine cuts, where they'll kind of act like they're going into the ball screen and then they slip out of it. Or sometimes they'll set the ball screen and they just try to get the switch, and they try to pick on certain guys is what they do. And they try to expose certain players that they deem as bad defensive players. And so, in terms of preparing for UCLA, and we usually do a good job with teams like that, building wall, guarding your yard. They only shot 5 threes in the first half. They went 4 for 5. Every one of them were our mistakes, where they made us pay. It felt like they made us pay, and they were. They didn't really. It was just they capitalized on our defensive errors. And so 2 in transition, 1 on a crackback where we were staring at the ball, and 1 we overhelped on a same side 3. So Marco had his assignment the whole time, but it just becomes a point where they're constantly switching. So if you're watching, it's hard to tell who's got who, because they're constantly setting ghost screens, ball screens, and just trying to pick on guys. And the good news is we had 32 points in the paint. The bad news, they had 30 points in the paint. But it just looked like, and you could see it specifically the first half, they were just trying to put their head down and drive us. And that was a big focus of conversation. That was a big focus at halftime, is we knew they were going to do that, but we just said we have to just be more physical and more tougher on the ball, specifically a couple guys. And I thought we did. But credit to them. Hawkes was, he was unbelievable tonight. Unbelievable. I think we held him to 6 or 8 points at their place, but he was, 10 for 15 with 23 points. That's tremendous. And then he sticks the 3 at the end. That was kind of the nail in the coffin, so to speak.
Two more? Just to follow that up, how much tougher is it to deal with teams like UCLA when you have Hawkes, who's older and been through everything, and Tiger, who's been through everything?
They're very veteran at a couple key spots, right? Depending on your mock draft, and I don't want to get crazy on this, but almost every mock draft, they have 4 guys that are projected first or second round picks, right? With Bona, obviously I didn't know what happened. I'm assuming he broke his nose. I don't know. He wasn't maybe quite as dominant as, but between Bona, Clark, Bailey, and Hawkes, they're all projected draft picks. And then you have Tiger Campbell, who's a 2-time All-League guy. It'll probably be a 3-time All-League guy at the point guard. So when you have a point guard with that kind of moxie, Final Four experience, All-League guy, and then you got a guy like Hawkes, same boat. And the synergy that those 2 guys have, and just that command that Hawkes just puts you in such a, he can just put you in a blender. You know what I mean? He's shooting it as well as I've seen him. I've only been in this league 2 years, but he's shooting it better than he has in my 2 years. Not even close. And then you saw, maybe around the 5-minute mark, BC got switched. He switched the ball screen. We didn't want that, but we had to switch it, and he just pulled it out and he just drove him right. Left-hand drive, got the finish. It's just he's a load. He's a load. And then Campbell it's so hard with screen and roll coverages with him, because it just feels like he makes the right play every single time. You go trap him, he's just boom, boom. You play soft, he's got this little floater game. We make a mistake in the first half on a crackback, he sticks a 3 right in front of our bench. Just makes you pay. Those guys are good, and they just, when you have those kind of guys, it can settle down those really talented freshmen.
Last one.
Correct. I'm good.
No, Jay, go ahead.
USC's got big guards. Can we expect Mike to play as much, or maybe not, just because of matchups, or did he earn more playing time?
He's going to learn. There's some things tonight certainly that he's got to do better. But certainly he did some really good things too. Like certainly he sparked us on the offensive end, right? Like we got down and he brought a different level of pace to our game, and you could see it, you could feel it certainly. And then he saw that first three, in the second half specifically, you saw that three go in, and now, you start creating some momentum, and you feel the crowd and just that energy. And I would anticipate that. I mean, certainly.
Go ahead, Josh. Last one.
Some of the stuff in the first half on defense, Bowen beats DC down the floor twice for a dunk. Mike got lost on high ball screens, didn't know where his guys were. Are certain things like that more unacceptable than other things just because they should never happen?
Well, it's hard. Like we've been an elite defensive team all year, right? And we've chosen to play like our really sound defenders that don't make a whole lot of mistakes. And you got to live through some mistakes, right? I mean, there's going to be mistakes, right? Nobody plays a perfect game. It's an illusion. And we had a lot of breakdowns tonight. We did. We had a lot of breakdowns tonight. And I'm incredibly proud of how we played and how we responded. But I know when we watch the film, it's just going to be like those are simple plays that we have to be able to make in game 29. Now, that being said, it's going to be some of that happens. And just when you're playing a lot of new guys, there's like these guys, some of these guys just haven't played. Boston hasn't had the consistency because of injuries. It's been in and out. Mike obviously hasn't played a whole lot, right? And then you have two freshmen. Will's starting his first game of his college career. Like Will's going to be we all know, like Will's got a chance to be a unbelievable player. But there's some things he's had to go through today and this week, kind of knowing he's probably going to start, and there's a different set of emotions. So we knew there was going to be some breakdowns. We knew there was going to be some mistakes tonight, and we just got to stay together, right? Stay connected, keep competing, on to the next. And you just got to figure it out. And the more some of these guys play, hopefully we can figure it out. And it'll be great film tomorrow. We won't be doing a whole lot. I don't anticipate on the floor, maybe a little bit, walk through, get prepared for USC. And we really got to learn from some of our mistakes tonight because USC is going to see it. Did they win tonight?
Big.
Yeah. So they're playing incredibly well. And I know you didn't ask this, but they had their little funk about 2-3 weeks ago when Morgan was hurt and Reese Dixon, Waters number 2, was out. Who's a big, he's like Vinnie Johnson, he's the microwave off the bench. So but that's part of it. And again, I'll recap. Thank you to the fans, and really proud of our spirit tonight.